The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Y'all ready for this?
Booyah! We are back. It is Wednesday, September 20th, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And later on in the hour, we'll be joined by our other co-host and contributor, Brett the Hitman Price.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be in on it. But in the meantime, we're going to get right to it. We've got on the line with us a longtime friend of Southern Nevada Sports News and vice versa of UNLV men's hockey, Z Khan. Z, are you there?
I am. How's it going, guys?
Hey, real good, man. How about you?
Not too bad. Just gearing up for first home games.
Yeah, yes, indeedy. And has it really sunk in that you guys are now over at the City National Bank Arena?
You know what? It's quite the spot. We're lucky to be there. The nights have been amazing. It's great to be able to call that place home.
Well, I tell you, I haven't had a chance to get down there, but Jeff certainly has. He has, certainly it is an absolutely beautiful facility that it didn't really take them that long to put up.
No.
It seemed like just a few months ago it was a dirt lot.
Yeah. Well, as needless to say, we were certainly all ecstatic that you guys were going to be there, sharing that with the Golden Knights, and to go online and take a look at it or find out when the next practice is open to the public. I highly encourage everybody to get down there.
Well, I was actually over there just yesterday morning, and they had the rookies practicing, and these guys are fast.
Yeah,
it is a lot different than when you see some kids out there running, and these guys were going full speed, and there was a decent crowd over there just checking it out. It was good to see. Yeah.
Well, it's needless to say, I haven't been on the ice, obviously. I haven't been over there. But, Z, as far as the guys are concerned, what kind of feedback are you getting from the players and the staff in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to be able to go there every day, like you said, and being in that environment where you got the Knights coming on right after we're done every day, and you see what they're going through on a daily basis from an NHL athlete. It puts a pretty good mindset in place for our guys who are already there, and they see what it takes. So, our practices, the intensity is high. We have 30 guys competing to get into a 20-man lineup these days. So it's been good. It's been fun, and you can tell the kids are working hard. And they obviously see what's going on around them. So. Yeah.
Well, how cool is that? That is that's absolutely awesome. Well, you've already had a couple of results against Arizona State, and you came out on the winning side. How's the team looking?
Team's looking good. I mean, obviously those are two big wins. Program that we've kind of tried to emulate over the last few years, ranked high, top 10, and we kind of went in there with a little bit of an unknown and managed to come out with two big wins for us. Our first two wins on the road and our first road sweep at the ACHA Division I level. A couple of check boxes for us as we continue our growth process along the way, but now we can't really surprise anybody. Everybody knows that we aren't gonna come in softly. We're ready to go, and we're gonna get a game now.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, congratulations on the quick start, and now you've got Colorado University coming in this weekend.
Yeah. So University of Colorado, they're an established team as well. They've been a top 10 team last few years. Competitive. They do well as far as the recruiting process goes, and another team that we look at is going to be really competitive this weekend, and a great way for us to start our home life at the City National with a pretty recognizable brand as far as University of Colorado Boulder comes in, Pac-12 school.
Nice. Yeah, I was over there a little bit watching practice, and these guys are looking good. They're going full speed and getting their goalies some work, and Z's got these guys tuned up. So,
yeah, I mean we're deep at every position this year, which is something that we haven't had always in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys got a new locker room. You guys literally have a spot right next to the ice down there. Oh, by the way, when I was looking for you the other day, when I went in there, I popped in there, and there was a bunch of Golden Knights getting dressed in there. I was like, oh, whoa, wait. Hold on, excuse me, guys. This is pretty funny, but so you got your own office on there?
They're still using our locker room through training camp for the time being. So all the guys who haven't played in the NHL or on two-way contracts or the rookies, they're making the UNLV locker room their home right now. And as soon as they ship all those guys out, once they get cut, then we get our room back.
So when you say get cut, these guys are going to go to probably Chicago.
Yeah, mostly guys that are two-way guys. They'll either end up in the AHL, or if they're young enough still, they can go back to their junior teams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there will be some guys going back to their junior teams. Now, they still keep their Golden Knights contracts.
They'll still be under the Golden Knights ownership for the next couple of years, depending on where they're at in their contract lives. But like the young kids, the rookies, the Cody Glasses of the world, they'll end up sticking around maybe for a little longer. But they have the opportunity to go back to their junior team. They're not eligible to play in the AHL yet, just because of age.
Right. Wow. What is the age in the NHL?
The AHL, you have to be 20, and turn pro. Whereas a kid like Cody Glass, who's still 18 years old, he would have to be returned to his junior team.
Oh, I see. That's cool. So these UNLV guys, I mean, what's their opportunity to get on an NHL roster? I mean, what would be the process coming from UNLV and then stepping up?
For our guys, it's just a matter of development and growth, right? We have a pretty good brand these days. People are kind of keeping an eye on our guys. We have a kid from last year's team that signed a pro contract. He's playing pro hockey in Switzerland right now. Nice. So, we're doing it. We're developing pro hockey players now. It's just whether or not it's the North American level or if it's a European level. But it's giving these kids an opportunity, and you know what? Some kids are taking advantage of it, and as long as they put the work in, they got eyes on them every day in that rink now. There's no doubt about it. I see George McPhee, I see Murray Craven, I see all those guys. They check out our practices. Coaching staff from the Knights, they're standing along the boards when their guys are getting ready to go. So from a development standpoint, like I said, these kids have every opportunity to be able to put a show on.
Well, I can tell you, Gerard Gallant was their coach, and it's kind of great for me to see growing up a Red Wings fan.
Yeah.
And watching him play as a player, and then to see him actually as the first coach of the Golden Knights. It was pretty exciting. Just totally stoked about that.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying how exciting it is to see Gallant, out there coaching, and I used to watch him as a player. So that's
and he's a great guy. And you know what? He's more than willing to help our guys. He's indicated, he'd come out and talk to our coaching staff, talk to our guys if they need. And like I said, they've been a great partner for us so far. And, everything we talked about doing 2 years ago has started to come true. And you can see it from our own program growing the way it is.
Well, I'm glad that you touched base on that, because I was going to ask you about maybe some interaction between the UNLV coaching staff and the Knights coaching staff. And I'm really glad to hear that. It's got to mean a lot to the coaches, but it's got to mean an awful lot to the players.
Yeah, it just reinforces what we have going on with them, and again, the fact that they want to see our program succeed. We were talking about a lot of these things a while back, and now you look at it from where we're at, and Kerry Bubbles he's the president of the Golden Knights. He's actually on our board now. They see viability in our program. They see the opportunity for us to continue our growth process, and having our program be successful creates hockey fans.
Right.
Yeah, and it certainly can help as far as recruiting is concerned.
Recruiting has been great. We brought in 20 new players this year. We have 10 returners. We got 30 kids. Like I said, it's a high-end group. We've got kids that are coming in from the top junior A leagues in all of North America. Kids that are competing to play at the Division I NCAA level, and maybe they go unnoticed or they slip through the cracks, but they ended up here, and they're going to have every opportunity to make an impact for both our program and their own hockey careers down the road.
I love it.
No, that is just excellent. Z, I know that this has been some time coming, but it seems like a year has literally just flown by.
Yeah.
And now suddenly this is all reality. You got to kind of pinch yourself every now and then.
Yeah, you know what? You look back on the summer and it's gone. Right? We've already played 2 games, and it seems like, being in Vegas, it's kind of unique, obviously, because we still go outside and it's still a little bit warm out, and we're kind of like, how did this happen? But it's fast, and like you said, I look back, not even just this summer, but the last 2.5 years or so, where it's flown by, and here we are, and we're playing Division I games, and we're winning Division I games, and our program continues to grow its brand locally, and that's our goal, is to continue that path.
Well, we needless to say, we're extremely proud that we have known you guys as long as we have, and have kind of seen this, the maturity that this team, your staff, especially you, we know what kind of work it takes, to put all this together and keep it. But now, well, what are these other teams that are they familiar now with where they're going to be playing UNLV at?
Yeah, everybody is very excited about it. They know what rink we're at now. They know what's going on with the Golden Knights. They see what we do on a daily basis from a local coverage. We get more coverage than a lot of NCAA teams out there. I've been told that a number of different times. The city's excited about it. You know what? Like I said, we've been winning games the last 2 years, and I know that people are excited about what we're doing, and they see the growth. And I know that even just from a UNLV faculty, they love what we're doing. They like our kids. They're great ambassadors at school and in the community.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job of taking ownership of the program. We wouldn't be here without the kids that helped us get here for the last 2 years. So this new group has a lot to live up to from that perspective. They know what's at stake for where we're going, what our goals are.
Yeah. Has Absolutely. It? I like to think that it's helped out also with your sponsorships.
Yeah, you know what? We continue that process. We're obviously knocking down different doors. We have our existing group that continues to support us on a regular basis. Couldn't go where we are without the people who've supported us already. And
Hear.
We see that again, and we're definitely increasing our budget year to year, and it's because of the travel and all that stuff. But At the end of the day, we are able to turn over some different leads these days, which is great. But again, it goes back to the fact that people are seeing hockey as a viable sport here in Las Vegas. The Knights have helped that cause, and our existing brand, we've been able to kind of take ownership of that and move forward the way we are.
So there's one game that I want to see this year. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Can we do an outdoor game?
Yeah, we should do an outdoor game. It'd be perfect. We just need to take sheet of ice and put it down in the middle of the speedway. I think that'd be pretty fun.
No, I'm thinking at the D. I think we're going to call the boy over there at the D and see if we can get an outdoor game at the event center. That'd be a lot of fun.
Downtown event center would be perfect for it. I'm all on board.
Oh, that would be excellent. I mean, that would really. I mean, I think people like the idea of coming to Las Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
And I got to believe for these teams that are on your schedule, they're looking at Vegas and it's like, whoa, Vegas. And then, but also now they have the opportunity to play in this beautiful arena.
So it's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's definitely increased our competition level for sure. We have a really tough schedule this year. We have probably one of the hardest schedules in the entire league. Did it on purpose, just like we did when we first took over the program. It's a measuring stick for us, but we know who we brought in. We know what we can do, and I think that, like I said, we can't sneak up on anybody anymore. We just beat the 2014 national champion at home. 2 games in a row to start our season, so people are going to take us seriously. We may have gotten away with it the last weekend, but we got a lot of work to do ahead of us, and that's our goal, is to end up being in that top 20 and end up at the national tournament again in our first year. And right now, we saw the rankings come out today for the first initial ranking for the D1 ACHA teams, and we ended up entering the ranking at number 21, so just on the bubble. But you know what? We were an unknown and unranked in the preseason, so that's a great start.
Congratulations to you, the staff, and the players. See, I mean, that is fantastic.
Much appreciated. Like I said, couldn't do it without all the support we have, so we appreciate all you guys and everything you guys do for us.
Of course.
Well, let me ask you, are there any fundraisers coming up that we could spread the gospel about? We're
working on a couple for the fall. We have our home games coming up, obviously, so we're going to be focusing on those. We got 4 home games here in the next 3 weeks. Should be pretty good turnouts. University of Colorado this weekend, and then 2 weeks University of Utah, who we've had experience with. They've handled us the last couple of years, but we're excited to get back at it and see what we can do against them at the Division I level now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, nobody could certainly accuse you of ducking any high-profile teams.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we want to put our kids in front of the right competition, right? They earn that right to be here, and we expect them to go out there and play the best.
Hear, hear, man.
We have games against the national runner-up from last season at Division I, Ohio University. We have 3 games against the number 1 ranked Minot State. We've got number 5 Iowa State. So we had a tough schedule. There's no doubt about it.
Nice. Okay, so this Friday, 7:30, City National Arena, right behind Red Rock, and then Saturday, a matinee game, to a 1:30 game.
Yeah. On
Saturday. Those are both going to be big games. For information on UNLV hockey, go to rebelhockey.com. Twitter, obviously, you guys are really strong on Twitter. UNLV Rebel Hockey on Twitter. Any other shout-outs you want to give?
No, I just want to, like I said, thank you guys for all your support. We look forward to having everybody out of the games, and I anticipate it being a pretty good turnout. We got the Vegas Golden Knights Ice Crew working the game as well. They'll be getting all the fans going, and it should be a fun event.
Nice.
We want to get there early. We got a little bit of a tailgate going at 5:30. So come early, come and have fun, and bring all your friends.
So Rebellion's doing the tailgates again?
Yeah, we got the Rebellion going with it, and as well as some of our own supporters, former players' families, stuff like that put on a great show out there with their Rebel Hockey RV that goes out there.
Beautiful.
Excellent, man.
All right.
Well, listen, Z, we know you've got getting ready for this game. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, man, because I
absolutely
can only imagine.
Appreciate you guys again.
And we look forward to seeing you down there. Needless to say, you're always welcome to be on this show.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
Thanks.
All righty. Z Khan, GM of the UNLV Men's Rebel Hockey. Their opening season begins this Friday and Saturday against national champs, right? Defending champs?
No, not the defending champs, but a solid D1 team.
Colorado University,
Yep.
University of Colorado. And then, of course, they've got Utah coming in.
Yep, in 2 weeks.
They
got a week off.
Yeah, but this is going to be the opening game at the City National Arena.
Yeah.
So 7:30 Friday night, and then a matinee game at 1:30. And as Z indicated, they'll be tailgating out there at 5:30
Nice.
at the arena, right behind Red Rock. Can't miss it. Beautiful facility.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the third member of the band, Brett the Hitman Price, and we'll be getting into this weekend's past NCAA games, pro games, and how we all did on the Dirty Dozen,
Oh, yes.
and of course the upcoming Dirty Dozen for the rest of the week. Southern Nevada Sports News, WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad. They look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure that might be on the cap. Remove the cap. Take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank, but a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find, but in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak You got to get this fixed, or there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufacturer recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
All right, we are back for round two. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us on the line, the third member of the band, none other than Brett the Hitman Price. Brett, are you there, buddy?
I am, guys. What's going on?
Oh, man, it's all happening. It's all happening, and thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
So, where would you gents like to start? NCAA, NFL?
I think we should go NCAA and just talk a little bit about last week. Maybe shockers or a couple of things that happened. I mean, I had a great weekend, so it was very good for me. I mean, you know, we were talking about how bad Reno is, and they lose straight up after being a 33-point dog. What'd you think of that one, Brett? Hello?
Are you there?
Hello?
Oh, okay. There he is.
I guess we.
I couldn't hear Jeff.
Oh, okay. Good.
No, you were saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about my some action that I had over on Utah or Idaho State against Reno. 33-point dog.
I think everybody's going to start playing that stuff after the Howard stuff with UNLV. Everybody's just going, I'll just throw a little bit on that. What the heck?
Yeah, you might as well.
Just put a little cheddar on there.
Well, I don't think that the 40-point dog at the UNLV is this week is going to hold up, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
No.
I really, I just don't see them losing by more than 40. I mean, 40 or more. That's worth putting, tenner.
Yeah, all right.
Fiver.
I don't know. That's gonna be a pretty good one. So what about last week, man? What game really stood out to you? I know that Brett, you and I both had Purdue.
Yeah.
You know, they just rolled Missouri. I mean, how can Missouri come back after losing a big game like that at home?
Everybody got caught up with them in that first week when they scored like 70 points, and I think the market kind of thought they were going to be a little bit better than what they are. And I mean, South Carolina went in there and into Missouri and whipped them, and Purdue went in there and whipped them too. So I think market might catch back up with Missouri now. They got Auburn this week, and Auburn's about 18-point favorite. So I just Purdue looked good. I mean, they're playing pretty good ball. They got a good big game this week with Michigan at home and West Lafayette, and we'll definitely see definitely a bigger test for them stepping up. Even when they played Louisville, they kind of hung in there, but I mean, Michigan's a little bit better than Louisville too. So.
Well, I mean, when looking at Louisville, though, that Louisville game, there was a couple of plays I remember where they were literally going in to score, and they had fumbled the ball on two different occasions. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of like taking 14 points off the board, and a game that they won by 7 could have easily been 21. So, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a strange spot for Michigan, because everyone initially was talking about how they're going to be 6-0 going into Penn State and blah blah blah. Now all of a sudden you have this Purdue team that's pretty decent. They could put up a little bit of a fight. They put the spread at 10. It's already down to 9.5. I don't know if I had to bet the game, I probably would take Michigan, just because it doesn't make any sense.
I honestly really like Michigan this week.
Really,
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
They're one of my stronger leans. I'm leaning at right now. I just think Michigan goes in there and kind of big brothers them and pounds on them a little bit and wins by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think that Purdue's actually beat Michigan consistently since Drew Brees has been there. So
Yeah,
It's been a little.
I don't think Purdue's beat anybody consistently since Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's going back a ways. My
Yeah.
goodness, jeez.
That was a long time ago. But, just sticking to the Big Ten, so there was a big upset in Nebraska this past week. And I think it's kind of caused one of the most lopsided lines going into this week. So we had Nebraska that lost 21-17. 2 pick sixes, though. One of them being like 80, it was like 80 something. It was like 87 yards or something ridiculous. So when you look at that game, it's like you take off those 2 pick sixes, Nebraska covers the game almost because they were actually literally going in to score.
I mean, I think those 2 pick sixes were back-to-back throws too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kind of got away, but that's speaking of Nebraska, they're kind of a strong lean for me this week, bouncing back against Rutgers at home, and they're given 12. I think Nebraska will right the ship here and
I'm gonna take my title over to the title loan place.
Yeah,
and max it out.
Before the show, Jeff was encouraging me to round up some dollars. And,
no, that's one you just find every available dollar that you have and put it on it because there's no way the Rutgers even stays close in that game.
Yeah, that's one of mine I really like.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute shellacking.
The game that really stood out for me only because I picked LSU was, of course, LSU and Mississippi State.
Man, what a beatdown!
And Mississippi State beat them every which way but lose.
Yep.
And I was really surprised. Is Mississippi State that good?
I don't think so. I think LSU kind of showed their youth. The game was tight till right at the end of the first half.
Yep.
Mississippi State got a score right before half. They go up 17-7. It was 10-7 most of the first half. And then they got the ball to start the second half, and they got a field goal. And you could just see kind of LSU, the youth part of it, the inexperience kind of looked like a deer in the headlights, like what's going on, and they just never recovered from it. I really don't think Mississippi State's that strong. I mean, they're good, but I don't think they're 30 points better than LSU.
The funny thing was I was watching that game, and they scored a touchdown right before the half, like you said, and I was thinking, well, that's a pretty good game. I mean, I wonder who's going to show up. So I turned off the game and went and was looking at the halftime lines, and then I never went back to the game. And then next thing I know, I look at it's 37-7.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, what happened? I mean, I just missed all the action,
Yeah, I mean, when you get LSU in a situation where they got to play catch up and start having to throw the ball, that's not their strength, And then Geis, I think, got hurt in the third, so everything kind of went against LSU and went right for Mississippi State. So it was just one of those games. I think it is one of those games, and I think I think the market's kind of overreacting with the line that's put out for the Georgia game when Mississippi State. And I like Georgia to handle Mississippi State down in Georgia this weekend.
Wow, I like that too. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a couple other games. So, did you guys see what happened at the end of the Penn State game? By the way,
no.
Okay, so Penn State's up 56-0, and Alabama State's is trying to get on the board.
Yeah.
Right. So there's literally almost no time on the clock. The Penn State head coach calls a timeout, ices the kicker.
Oh yeah, iced him. Yeah, iced him in 11 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that at all.
And they ended up not going for the field goal. They took a penalty and not going for the field goal, and then the game ended 56-0. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking on that.
I kind of have mixed feelings about it because if you're just trying to get on the board, I think you should throw the ball in the end zone. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I understand that, but I think they just wanted a moral victory.
Yeah.
The Penn State coach just wasn't having it.
No, he clearly was.
He calls a timeout.
Yeah, that things like that have a way of coming back and just biting you on the ass. I mean, I'm a firm believer in karma. I mean,
it could happen this weekend when they got to go to Iowa City.
Yeah. So this, I mean, I didn't know that, and now that I know it, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
In Penn State's coach.
Good, that means you'll be rooting for us in a few weeks when we play.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, absolutely. And now I'm, that's bad. I mean, you know who you're playing. They're just trying to, get on the board, make the trip kind of worthwhile. The trip's already worthwhile. I mean, I'm sure they walked away with a pretty sizable check. But, jeez.
So UCLA and Memphis.
Yes.
Defensive struggle.
Yeah. With the turnovers eventually killed them. And, I was just really surprised at the way that I saw that game kind of unfolding.
Yeah.
I knew that this was just not going to be that kind of a day. And really disappointed in the Bruins. And...
Well, I mean, they were chasing the whole game for the most part.
Well, that was the problem. They got behind, and they were chasing the week before too.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks before against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Chased the whole damn game, and so they can't get themselves in that kind of a situation.
I did see on Twitter one of the guys from UCLA made a comment to the guy that was walking with the cane, because he was kind of doing the pimp walk with the cane. About how they came back, and I was thinking they scored 40-something points on you, and now here we are the next week, and Memphis throws up 48 on them. I mean, that's not going to win you the Pac-12.
No, I mean it's a good thing they had the Hawaii game in between.
Yeah,
but no, that's not. And now they've got Stanford this week.
A possibly upset Stanford team after taking the L down in San Diego State.
Yeah,
back to back, they lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, they lost against SC, and then which I want to get to that game in a second, and then of course the San Diego State. Yeah, they're going to be pretty, PO'd.
Well, I can tell you this.
The Bruins get up there.
I mentioned this last week about Rashad Penny.
Yeah,
this guy is really good.
The guy to replace Pulford.
And I spoke on the show last week about how good he did. I actually took a small play on the money line. I had a really great morning because Oklahoma State is my new favorite team. I'm just going to take that every week.
Yeah, they're
and
outrageous.
that's also my play. The first half, again, I'm going to take that again this week. They went up 35-0 with like 12 minutes to go in the second, laying 7 points in last week. So I really like that again. But anyways, I think they're gonna come out and shock TCU at home, and I put a little bit of money on the future. I got that at 17-1, Brett. I know you probably wondering what that was, but yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff happening. And this guy down in San Diego State, though, man, I'm telling you, he rushed for 1,000 yards last year, and then he's going to come back, and he's halfway there now.
And not being the feature.
Yeah, he's got 588 already.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it just seems remarkable how San Diego State finds these guys.
It's
I mean, my goodness, but. And of course, I really anticipated that USC was just going to mop up Texas.
Yep. And
double overtime is what it took to finally get USC to get that win.
It was a good game. It was a good game to watch, and I kind of was eyeballing it a little bit and watched a little bit of the game, but when it got to obviously close to the end of the game is when I turned it on.
Right.
I was like, hey, I want to watch the end of this. And I was kind of rooting for Texas. I kind of wanted them to see them pull the big upset.
Well, you know who I was rooting for.
I know you're rooting for Texas.
So.
Who are you rooting for, Brett?
Well, Texas pretty much outplayed them the whole game.
I think so. I mean, from what I watched, anyway.
I mean, I watched most of it. It was on one of my TVs, so I was seeing a lot of the action. And I mean, they pretty much outplayed him. The quarterback. I like the kid. I don't know how good he is, but he plays hard as all get out. And I thought Texas defense flew around and made SC kind of look slow. But Texas goes up, 45 seconds to go. Darnold brings them down there. He didn't have another very great game. I mean, he passed for like 312 and a couple interceptions. He got 6 interceptions already this year in 3 games. But he gets them down there in the field goal range and gets it into overtime. And then Texas is ready to go in, and they get quarterback sneaking in there and gets kind of stood up and gets the ball stripped from him. And SC gets the ball, kind of centers it up and kicks the field goal and wins it.
Yep. That's all it takes.
I'm afraid that is all it takes.
So moving forward to this week, Brett, I mean, you already talked a little bit about games you like. I mean, what is there any other games that are really standing out to you?
I think one on Friday night coming up, I really like Utah against Arizona. That line's like 3.5. last I seen. I just think, Utah just going to, I think, manhandle them a little bit. I think it's not even close. So I like that play. I really like Alabama against Vandy. I think it's not close. I think it's more like a 35-7 or 10 game maybe, and the line's 18 right now. And then a couple, been doing pretty good on my over/under thing lately. I like the Duke and North Carolina game under 67.5. I like the Maryland Central Florida game to go over 59.5. I like Virginia Tech ODU to go over 52.5. I mean, I think Virginia Tech can cover that on their own.
Probably.
And then the Auburn Missouri game to go under 60.
Auburn and Missouri, yeah.
Kind of leaning on. Look, the over/under just kind of came out today, so that was the first run through for me.
Well, I haven't looked at all the over/unders yet, but I can tell you about some of the games I like. You want to hear them, Bill?
Yes.
So I don't even know what Washington State is laying, but they're playing Nevada at home, so just go ahead and lay it, whatever it is.
It's 28.
28. I mean, and literally that could be like the halftime. That might be a good first half, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Nevada's really not that good. I watched a little bit of that game last week, and they're just horrid.
I told you that at the beginning of the year. They're not good.
Well, I thought that they would be able to put points up, and I was wrong. And I very rarely admit that I'm wrong, and I'm actually doing that right now. So it's too bad that George isn't on the line again, because I know you probably love to hear that. But the Arizona game, there's a young man. He plays defensive end. His name's Justin Belknap, and his dad is actually named Jeff Belknap. He went to Coronado High School. His mom Anna is a principal in town, and I just came across the name, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? So I reached out to them, and they've. The grandma's now involved, and she's sending me Twitter messages and everything. It's great. Oh my
goodness, yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome. But so I'm going to be rooting for them down there in Arizona. I mean, I think that Utah is a really solid team, and that's probably a game that I'll just stay away from, and instead of taking the action on. But one of the other games I like is I really like Toledo, and even though that they did not cover last week, they played a hell of a game. They came back from way back. They won that game late. I mean, it was a big...
Easy over.
Yeah. But 105 points. That was one of the games we talked about last week being an over. And I think that something similar is going to happen this week. I don't think their defense is going to be that good to stop Miami. Miami's had a couple extra weeks off because of the hurricane and everything.
Right.
So they've only played one game this year, and Toledo's going to head down there and to play, and I think Miami's going to be ready.
Yeah. Do you really think they'll be able to score that many points against Miami?
I do. I think that I think their offense is geared up for
going
to score.
Out, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think 57.5. I don't think is going to be an issue for either one of the teams. I mean, you're basically putting that at a 30-30 game, and both of those teams can score over 30 points easily. Miami's
defense is really good this year. I can see Toledo coming in the back door. Maybe just the way they sling it around. I don't like looking at the matchup. Me personally, I'd stay away from that game because Miami hasn't played in a while, and things like that. So those teams that haven't played in a while kind of are iffy with me right now.
Well, I think they're going to come out and firing on all cylinders. I mean, that's just my thought. Okay, so we'll go from there to, since I don't have the totals here, what is the total on Texas Tech and Houston?
71.
71. Two teams that can score a lot. 71. I think I'm going to be leaning towards that, or at least the first half over. And I'm going to give you guys my play of the day right now. The play of the day, this might literally be the play of the millennium, is Nebraska. So let me just give you a little hint. Rutgers lost week 1 to Eastern Michigan. Okay, Eastern Michigan is not that great of a team. You're going to put them up against a team that arguably should have won a game last week, had more yardage, had more everything
Right.
than Northern Illinois, and you're going to put them on a field with a team that like is hungry to beat somebody down.
Yeah.
Rutgers is going to get smashed in that game. Take it to the bank
This is a classic overreaction line.
because of the loss. You mean?
Yes, exactly.
And I just don't even see that game being close. I mean, I really
And
honestly,
it's in Lincoln too. It's not like it's in New Jersey. It's in Lincoln.
Okay, so just one. No, let me give you two more. Okay, so one of the ones that I don't really like this game, but I always kind of like look at it. The Michigan State and Notre Dame game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last 15 times that Michigan State has been a dog, they've won straight out like 12 times. 12 of the last.
D'Antonio's been a
straight out.
great dog coach.
Yeah,
Wow.
being dogs. That's one. Notre Dame better be ready for a game. That's all I'm going to say. And then the last one is, man, how did I just forget? What was my last one? Oh boy. Oh, the other one. Okay, this is what it was. Florida has beat Kentucky 30 straight times, 30 years in a row. They beat them 30 years in a row. Think about that.
30 years in a row.
30 years in a row. I think this might be Kentucky's year.
I believe it is too, especially since I found out that at least 9 players are suspended because some sort of a bookstore scam in Florida.
Are they still suspended? Because that was the same thing.
They're getting. There's federal stuff. There's felony stuff going on with that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
because they were doing cards or something, right? Like using.
They were doing credit card stuff. Yep, credit card fraud.
You know, I couldn't figure out what it was. I know that most of these guys are on full rides anyway, so I was thinking that maybe they were just reselling books. You know, going and claiming, "Oh, I need this textbook," and then saying, "How much were you going to give me? Give me for this textbook." But this is not going to go away anytime soon.
No, I can't see any of those kids playing at all this year.
Wow, that's a huge loss.
I absolutely believe it's Kentucky.
Unless they're playing in the Longest Yard next movie.
So I think Kentucky's in a good spot to knock off Florida at home.
I agree with you.
I'm staying away from that game. I don't have a feel for that thing. I mean, Florida coming off the way they won against Tennessee had me jumping up and down. You know, I had the under at 49.5, and it was sitting at 20-20. I'm like, if this game is overtime, I'm screwed.
Oh yeah, you're done.
And I seen the guy get behind the defense, and I kind of hopped out of my seat. I'm like, just catch it, and he caught it, so it stayed under.
Yeah, that was great. I love winning like that.
Yeah, I know Tennessee wished this whole bookstore scam had come to light a little sooner, but hey. The guys over at Nolan Transport, I know that they were just, I didn't even mention it. It's Wednesday, and I still haven't mentioned it to these guys, and I've actually chatted with them on some pricing on some items. Didn't bring it up. But to their defense, they didn't bring up UCLA either.
Oh, that's
you
all.
See, that's how it works.
Okay, so really quick, because we need to have time for the Dirty Dozen. How much time we got? 10 minutes?
Okay, yeah.
So we can do some NFL really quick.
Really quick.
I mean, just any games that really stood out to you guys last week?
How bad are the Giants?
Oh, I love that game.
Their offensive line is horrible.
Man,
This should be a prop if Eli Manning makes it through the year.
Oh, he's if he can make it without being out 2 or 3 games, I'd be shocked. I really would.
Well, the tough thing is that's your blind side tackle.
Absolutely.
And matched up against the sack leader from the year before last. You know, so it's not like they put him against. They got him some schlub. You know, that they put him against. They put him up against one of the better D linemen. I mean, granted, he was injured last year and didn't really have a great year, but the year before that, 13.5 sacks.
Well, this is a team that seemed to have gone all out to make this defense the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And clearly didn't pay any detail to the offensive line.
Yeah.
And this is a head coach who is an offensive coordinator. It's not like this guy was a defensive coordinator and he's just like, offense take care of itself.
Yeah.
He's an offensive coordinator who's become a head coach. And I got the impression, and, you know, I'm definitely not a Giants fan, not a hater. And he literally threw Eli under the bus.
Oh, he did after the game.
I mean, this was not like, you know, he kind of went around about and just kind of said, you know, our quarterback play, maybe, you know, But you generally, head coaches, you hear them say we, a lot. We'll get back this, we'll get, no, this is, Eli, this, and I'm like,
Our quarterback.
Excuse me?
Basically what he said. Well, the one play that turned, to me, was the turning point was when Brandon Marshall dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the next play they had to punt, and the guy run the kick back. I mean, that was a huge turning point because that was a first down and more. I mean, if he would have caught that in stride like he was, I mean, he would have had probably a 30, 40-yard gain, which they would have been driving down to take the lead.
Right.
And instead you go down an extra touchdown, or at least tie the game. So, just as a Lions fan, I was just kind of waiting to lose. And to see like how they kind of just played, and they played smart. I mean, they were able to run the ball against a good Giants defense, which was surprising for me. I mean, think about this.
Yeah, Abdullah looked good.
Your leading rusher last year had 270 yards rushing. They had 86 yards, or like over 100 yards combined.
Yeah.
That's a major win for the Lions.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet Monday night you were not even close to the biggest Detroit Lions fan.
I purposely watched it at home.
There was a guy that completed a parlay.
Oh, I saw.
Had the Lions, and he won $263,000 at the MGM.
$8,500 he put down on it, 5-teamer.
On a 5-teamer.
The last game he had Lions money line, hit it for $250K.
My man.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
I would have made him pay me in ones and count it.
Then make it rain.
Yeah, like 7 hours later when they're done counting.
Yeah,
I'm a baller on a budget. Yeah, I throw dollars up in the air.
Yeah, start over. No, but good game this week. Detroit's playing Atlanta. That should be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely.
I love Cleveland. Cleveland as the favorite this week.
Yeah, first time since 2015.
Yeah, did they?
I believe by game time they will not be favored.
I don't know how they can't be. I mean, unless they sign somebody else. I mean, that would be the only reason to not play them. Okay, so we probably got enough time for Dirty Dozen.
So how did we do last week, Brett?
Last week we Bill, you went 5-7.
Ooh.
Jeff went 5-7.
Oh.
I went 7-5.
Wow.
So for the year,
Brett Price.
we have a new leader in the clubhouse.
Nice.
I am 21-14. Jeff is 19-16, and Bill is 20-15.
That's good. We're all over 500.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
Well done, but congratulations, Brett.
Yes. Good job.
Hey, we'll see how long it holds up.
Sure. Well, this time I'm actually looking at these games, so maybe I'm cheating. But anyways, go ahead.
All right, we'll start off. We're going to start off with that Friday night game. We're going to go with Utah at Arizona.
Utah at Arizona.
I'm going to take the Wildcats at home. I'm going to root with my boy Belknap to sack the quarterback 2 times and get some highlight reel film.
I'm going with Utah. I'm going to ride this.
The Utes.
The Utes.
And I'm obviously going with Utah as well after I talked about it. So next game, we're going to go down the SEC. We're going to Mississippi State at Georgia.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
UGA across the board. Next game
sorry. I meant Mississippi.
We just
State.
Talked about it a little bit. Florida at Kentucky.
Brett, I meant Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yep.
Oh, you went Mississippi State Bulldogs.
There you go.
Sippy.
I didn't really think about that until good catch, Bill.
Sippy.
I want Georgia.
All right. Next game is Florida at Kentucky.
I'm going to go with Kentucky. I don't think the bail bondsman is going to be able to get these guys reinstated.
60. I'm gonna go with the breaking the 30-year curse, and this year's the year.
I'm going with the Gators to chomp them again.
Oh.
Next game, UCF at Maryland.
Those two are neither team really excites me a whole lot.
No, I really
take the over.
I like the over.
I'm thinking this is a pick 'em. I'm going to go with Maryland at home.
I'm going to go UCF. I don't think
UCF for Jeff.
Even
I'm going to
go.
Oof. I'm going to go Maryland.
Yeah, away.
Next game, Texas Tech at Houston.
Is this the track meet?
That's definitely going to be an over. I'm going to go. I'm going to take Houston at home. Texas Tech defense doesn't excite me a whole lot.
I'm going to go with Houston as well.
I'm going Houston too. Next game, San Diego State at Air Force.
San Diego State.
I like San Diego State, and I think they'll cover those points as well.
What's up with that line? That line was weird.
It's kind of fishy. I think that because Air Force played Michigan tough, that they're kind of giving them a little bit too much.
And everybody's probably thinking San Diego State's going to have a letdown game.
Yep, I believe so.
Next game, Duke at North Carolina, Tobacco Road.
Tremendously exciting game on the court.
Yeah, on the field.
On the field. I'm going to go with Duke. Duke seems to me to be really, putting up some points, and those they're pretty bright down there. I'm going to go with Duke.
I think I'm going to take Duke as well. I don't think that North Carolina has really shown me a whole lot, especially last week.
Who you got, Jeff?
I'm going to take Duke as well.
Okay, I'm going with Duke too. Last college game, we're going down to Louisiana. Yeah. Louisiana Monroe versus Louisiana Lafayette.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know these teams' records. Who even watches these teams?
Oh, I'm going to go with the Raging Cajuns.
ULL.
Here, let me flip a coin. I'll take Lafayette.
All right, I'm going Lafayette too. They can score points. Going to pros, Cleveland at Indianapolis.
Woo!
Cleveland at Indianapolis. I'm going to take the Browns.
I'm taking the Browns too.
To get off the schneid.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you guys?
I don't think Indy's good on either side of the ball, honestly.
I don't think either team is very good on either side of the ball.
I think Kaiser's got some potential. I think that
I'm going with Cleveland. I'll take my Brownies.
Could this be the first tie of the year?
Yeah, 0-0.
0-0.
I didn't think that bad, but.
Next game, Dallas at Arizona.
Yeah, I tell you, seeing Dallas last weekend,
I think Denver's defense is really good,
and their offense too. Well, they managed to put up some points.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with. I got to go with Dallas. I think Dallas is.
I think I'm going to take Dallas to snap back. As Arian said, the quarterback play has been poor. I mean, when your coach is telling you the quarterback play is poor, then you got to kind of roll with that.
I'm going upset. I'm going Arizona.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Next game, Seattle at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm going Seattle.
Are you trying to just get away from us?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull away. I'm either going to come back to the pack or I'm going to pull away.
I can see that.
Atlanta at Detroit.
Oh, why'd you put this one on there? I'm going with the D. I think that their defense is going to have to play really well to beat Atlanta. Atlanta looks really good.
Yeah.
Who'd you go with, Jeff?
I'm going to take Detroit, but I think that's going to – I'll probably lose that one. But
I'm going to go with the Falcons.
I'm going with Atlanta. There we go. 30 dozen.
There it is. Okay.
Oh, man. Thank you.
On time.
All right. Well, listen, Brett, as always, man, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
More importantly, thanks for managing the Dirty Dozen.
No problem.
We appreciate it. And really, man, I hope you have a great week. And
to you guys.
Thanks as always. And needless to say, folks, the hour is just blown by. Please join us next Wednesday. It'll be the 27th, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
God bless.